rock that beat.
So like always, I am extremely fucking lazy, to be honest, when it comes to wanting to record anything. So this video is coming out way later than I would rather prefer for it to come out, as I'll always say for almost any other video that I'll make on this channel. But regardless, I'm making this video today. You might see it later today. You might see it, probably tomorrow, depending on what happens. I'm recording this on Friday, so if you see it on Friday, you see it on Friday. If you see it on Saturday, you see it on Saturday. Whatever, right? There actually was another video topic that I actually wanted to talk about, and it's something gaming related, but it's something that needs to be talked about a little bit more, and it's because I saw this guy's video in my recommended feed, and I never really thought about it until I just noticed the video in my recommended feed. And I might make a video about it. I might make a video, expressing my opinions about it. But regardless, I am going to go ahead and just keep talking about the episode, because that's the only reason why you're really here if you did click on it anyways. I'm not going to talk about a different video. We're talking about the episode in this video. So it's Persona 5. It's episode 13. And I wasn't sure what they were going to do, I really, really wasn't sure what they were going to do, right? Because at the pace that they're getting really, 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 really close to pretty much the end of when the game ends. They're at the third guy that they go after in terms of changing their heart, right? The Phantom Thieves are at their third guy, right? Or their third. I'm not gonna say victim, but they went after a guy's palace, and this is the third time they've done it. And granted, yeah, they got 2 new members and stuff from, Madarame to Kanashiro and stuff, but it seems like they're getting, more and more closer towards, halfway the game already, and I feel like they need to take a pace that's, different than what it should be. I feel like they should have done this immediately after all the Kamoshida stuff, happened. Maybe they should have stepped into, some filler stuff, because that would have been a little bit interesting for some characters, but mainly for people who are watching the series and haven't played the games and aren't playing the games, right? Because what they should have been doing is that they should have had, character centered episodes and filler episodes. It's not I wouldn't classify it as technically filler, but it's technically filler, right? But what they should have done is they should have, how do I put it, right? In the video games, for Persona 5, there are confidants. And basically your confidants are, your group of friends, a couple other people that you meet, just whatever, right? Like the nurse, doctor lady, I forget her name. I apologize for not remembering, but she's one of your confidants. There's a fortune teller lady. She's one of your confidants, and there's even a kid at some arcade, right? He's one of your confidants as well. And I feel like what they could have done for at least the main cast, like An or Ryuji and stuff, what they could have done is that they could have had character centered episodes about them. And granted, they kind of did that with Ryuji. They kind of did that with An a little bit, and Makoto as well in a previous episode. But they didn't have the whole episode centered around that. So this episode's full episode is mainly centered around Yusuke as one of the main characters and the main protagonist is confidant, right? And basically, Yusuke is wanting to continue on his path to being a better artist, but he's in a slump and he doesn't know what exactly to paint. So he asked Ren, the main character, to help him out, essentially, right? Because when Yusuke was starting to get in this kind of slump phase of his creativity, kind of whatever, right? When he joined the Phantom Thieves and when he first saw like inside of Mementos, he was seeing, the distortion of heart. Someone's at my door. I'll be right back. I apologize. I didn't think anybody was gonna be, you know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know anybody was gonna be at my door at around like 9 o'clock in the morning. So, 'cause that's when I'm recording this. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. Yusuke, when he joined the Phantom Thieves and he went inside the Mementos for the first time, he saw, the distortion of hearts and how, ugly and vulgar it can be, because sometimes the desires of one's heart can sometimes be, a very evil thing. So Yusuke, paints a painting of what he, interprets, desires, and it's a very, dark and bitter kind of looking like painting, right? And it shows that his interpretation of desires are, dark and evil and ugly, and that's basically it. And some guy, walks out. There was no one looking at this painting, because people were obviously interpreting it in their own different ways and they didn't agree with it, so they didn't, pay attention. They didn't pay any attention to it. But one guy went up to it, and he was, saying that like the work or whatever. I forget what he said, but like something about it was mediocre at best, right? The composition. I don't even know if I pronounced that word correctly, but he said that's basically mediocre at best, right? And this guy that points out the painting and like how it's like mediocre in some way, and conveniently Yusuke standing right next to him, but he's actually conveniently involved with another side plot that's actually in this episode with Goro Akechi and Ren, the main character. And I'll explain that, I guess, right here. So Goro Akechi's basically after like some guy who was in relations to Madarame in some sorts, but had like a falling out. And I forget what was like the whole like premise of it, because like I said, it was kind of like a side plot thing, so I wasn't really paying attention to it. But basically, Goro Akechi has to get some sort of evidence on him, so he can like be on. So either way, he can be either arrested or put on trial or just something, right? And this artist guy, he owns like a foundation or whatever. I forget what he called it, but he runs the place, and Goro Akechi thinks that he is the one who's leading the whole thing, right? Spoilers, it's actually not him, but it's his right-hand man who's been doing that the whole time, and by the end of the episode, he pretty much gets caught and arrested. So, outside of all that, the whole entirety of the episode, Yusuke is trying to, paint, his interpretation of desires and what he sees desires as. And the episode continues on, and there's actually a scene later on in the episode where he's in LeBlanc, and his friends are explaining that not all desires are dark and they're evil and they're bad or ugly and stuff. It's not bad to have desires either. It's perfectly okay to have, it's perfectly okay for one to have desires. Like people have desires to one day, own a business and have it be successful, but those desires aren't specifically evil. He doesn't have evil intent with it. So desires can be, full of hope, and, it can be full of beauty, and it's amazing. But at the same time, there are desires that are mainly evil and dark and disgusting and evil. And so by the end of the episode, Yusuke is starting to pretty much grasp, the meaning of desires. And by the end of it, he paints a painting, and half of it is, the distortion of one's desires, and the other is, the bright and the hopeness of desires. It's desire and hope, and those are two entirely different things. You need to put them into one painting, and that's his interpretation of it. So, like the artist foundation guy or whatever, he explains to Yusuke that Madarame and him used to be good friends, and then they had a falling out because Madarame had desires that were full of evil intent. But this guy, he worked hard and he had hope for having, a better life, especially in his, and especially in his work, right? So the episode pretty much just ends there. It's pretty much just a filler episode. It's more character development for Yusuke, who gets lines of dialogue but doesn't really say anything really. It's kind of weird. I remember him speaking a lot more inside the game, but in the anime he doesn't really do a whole lot besides be one of the members of the Phantom Thieves, and kind of be awkward at times. But it's almost, there's always that one character who's pretty awkward. But regardless, Ren, Yusuke, they grow together in a better friendship, and the episode pretty much just ends there. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the entirety of the episode. I thought it was enjoyable to watch. I thought it was fun, and it showed the differences of hopes and desires, and that they're not all bad, and it's not bad for one to have desires, as long as what you think of them, what you consider them, if they're good or bad, or even considering what you're trying to do, what it's involved with, and stuff. So regardless, that's the end of the episode. It was really enjoyable to watch. I really did enjoy it. There was a lot of good music, and you probably noticed that in my videos I use a lot of Persona 5 music, mainly because of the simple fact that it's just a really good soundtrack, and I love new music from Persona 5, so I kind of use it a lot, and I kind of want to maybe branch out a little bit to using different types of music. But I'm gonna continue using it, regardless. So I hope you don't really mind that too much. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video here. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like. If you are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button for more videos just like this. I'm gonna record another video sort of immediately after this. I'm gonna try to get this video out later today as soon as possible. Hopefully I don't fall asleep anytime soon, because recently my sleep schedule has been a little bit off, so I'm sleeping all day and I'm up all night. I'm trying to fix that. I'm gonna try to fix that, today especially. So hopefully it works out. But regardless, I'll see you guys next time in the next video. I hope you guys have a fantastic, wonderful day. I'm out. Peace.